You think you're failing because you're lazy, but you're not. You're just trapped in the myth that discipline is about feeling ready. Here's the truth. The most consistent people in the world don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for a spark. They build a rhythm, a sacred ritual, even when everything inside them screams to stop. Let's set the stage. Think about a tree. It grows slowly, silently, layer by layer. No drama, no applause. But every day it's expanding, deepening its roots, stretching toward the sun. Consistency is that silent growth. You don't always see it, but it's there, and eventually it becomes undeniable. Now, here's the kicker. Your brain is not designed for consistency. Your brain wants novelty. It rewards you with dopamine every time you do something new. Scroll a feed? Dopamine. Start a new project? Dopamine. Daydream about a better life instead of building it. Even that gives dopamine. But consistency doesn't always deliver that hit. It's repetitive, predictable, and your brain doesn't cheer for it. That's why so many people start things and never finish them. Their brain is addicted to the start, not the finish. Consistent behavior builds what's called myelination, a kind of insulation around your neural pathways. Every time you repeat an action, those circuits get stronger, faster, and more automatic. It's like paving a dirt road into a superhighway. That's why consistency breeds mastery. But most people never get to that point. Why? Because they misinterpret the early resistance as failure. They think, I'm not feeling it, so this must not be for me. But the truth is, the resistance is the price of entry. It's the gym soreness of identity transformation. You're not meant to feel amazing when you start. You're meant to feel friction. That's the signal you're moving. Let's anchor this with something practical. There's a rule called the 20-second rule. The idea is simple. Reduce the friction to start something by 20 seconds, and your chances of doing it skyrocket. Want to work out every morning? Sleep in your gym clothes? Want to read instead of scroll? Put a book on your pillow. That tiny drop in activation energy makes a massive difference over time. But let's flip it. If you want to break a bad habit, increase the friction, make it harder. Move the app off your home screen. Turn off notifications, add a password. The harder it is to access, the easier it is to ignore. Consistency isn't about willpower, it's about architecture. You must build an environment where consistency is the default, not the battle. You're not chasing discipline. You're crafting identity. Every act of consistency is a vote for the person you're becoming. And the more votes you cast, the harder it is to see yourself any other way. Now let's dig deeper how identity shapes action and how to make consistency feel inevitable. You don't wake up one day as a writer, a CEO, a martial artist. You wake up and write. You make a call. You show up at practice. And eventually your actions whisper to your brain, this is who I am. Most people wait for the identity to feel real before they act. But the truth is, identity is retroactive. You act first. Then the brain adjusts. So here's what you do. Create identity anchors. These are small, repeatable rituals that signal who you are. A writer opens the same document every morning. A leader reviews their vision before meetings. A healthy person prepares their meals on Sunday. These aren't tasks. They're rituals. They're declarations. And they give consistency a backbone. Now let's talk about the enemy, the all-or-nothing mindset. You miss one day and your brain says, see, you always quit. But that's a lie. Missing one rep doesn't kill progress. Quitting because of one miss does. Perfection is the enemy of momentum, and momentum is the fuel of consistency. Give yourself permission to be messy. Half effort beats no effort. The gym for 10 minutes beats skipping it altogether. One sentence written is better than none. You're not aiming for streaks. You're aiming for identity reinforcement. Track it if you need to, but never let the tracking become the goal. The goal is to keep showing up even when it's ugly. And here's a powerful shift. Instead of asking, what do I need to do every day? Ask, what's the minimum viable identity action I can take today? This is the backbone of consistency. Not glory, not aesthetics. Just showing up in alignment with your identity. Because that's where the shift begins, not in intensity, but in continuity. The more you show up, the more your brain builds the connection. This is what I do. This is who I am. And soon it's no longer an effort, it's an expression. Consistency then is not about pressure, it's about proof. And you prove it one simple act at a time. But if you want to protect that consistency, you've got to master these subtle forces that sabotage it. Your environment is one of them. You can have all the motivation in the world. But if your phone's buzzing every 3 seconds, good luck getting into deep work. Protect your space like your life depends on it because your future self does. Another enemy? Decision fatigue. The more choices you make in a day, the weaker your willpower becomes. That's why routines matter. That's why simplification wins. Every time you eliminate a choice, you protect your energy for what matters. Build a fortress around your focus. Use routines like armor. Use simplicity like a sword. Still, even with perfect systems, there's something deeper, the emotional storms. The days you feel like nothing matters. The days you question everything. These are the consistency killers. And here's the hack. Prepare for those days in advance. Make a consistency contract with yourself. Decide now what your bare minimum is, even on your worst day. Not as punishment, as protection. Tell yourself, no matter how I feel, I will do this one thing, just one. And when that storm hits and you still show up, that's where your identity transforms. That's where belief is built. Because consistency isn't forged in comfort. It's forged in resistance. And the greatest consistency builders aren't the most disciplined, they're the most prepared. They anticipate the obstacles. They plan around the pitfalls. They don't expect perfect conditions. They create consistent action under imperfect ones. This is how legacies are made. This is how empires are built, not in bursts, but in bricks. And you, whether you feel it now or not, are laying those bricks, one habit at a time, one ritual at a time, one quiet, defiant act of consistency at a time. Because consistency isn't about having time. It's about taking ownership. And the moment you own your actions, you own your transformation. And that's when everything changes. This isn't just about holding the line anymore. This is about flipping the switch, turning consistency from a survival mechanism into a weapon. Here's the edge. Consistency doesn't just protect progress. It compounds it. It multiplies effort. It bends time. What seems like small, mundane actions done again and again begin to stack, stretch, and snowball into force. At first, the results are invisible. But then one day, they're undeniable. Here's where it gets real. The people who look superhuman, they're not doing 100x more. They're just doing 1x more, 100x longer. They've trained their mind to fall in love with repetition. They've transformed boredom into power.